I'm Katie, and this is Living in the Now. On my channel, I talk about everyday manifesting, stories and examples to help you to manifest everything you desire. Today's video is on Everyone is You Pushed Out. What does this really mean? And how can you learn to use it to your advantage to get everything that you want? It will probably be a long video, but by the end, you will fully understand how this works and what it really means. So, I don't like how everyone is you pushed out sounds. It makes it confusing. To me, I see it as whatever your story is and the thoughts you have inside you is what you then experience and see and perceive. So the story you have is the most important thing ever. What's a story? It is saying what you want to have or experience or to have happen. It's saying what you want and feeling good about it. It is positive thoughts and saying how it is or how it will be when you have or if you had the desire that you want right now. A story like, I always get what I want. A story like, everyone is nice to me. A story like, money is easy to get. Or a story like, manifesting a relationship is easy. That manifesting is easy. You're the only one in your quantum bubble. Try to imagine and picture that. Think of it like a bubble. When you're in a bubble, you see out in your bubble. What you see in your awareness is shown from the story that you have. Everyone in your life is a projection or hologram of your thoughts and story. Everything happening within you filters the reality you perceive and experience on the outside. Whatever your story is, makes you perceive and interpret stuff to match that. It gives you what you're aware of or expecting. If you say manifesting money is easy, you will start to see that it's true. And then ways to get money or make money or receive money will become visible to you. When your story was, money's hard to get, then all the ways to get money were not clear to you. They're invisible to you. You couldn't even see a way. Your story makes it show or not show. If you say people are always mean to me at grocery stores, that is what your mind looks for out there. It makes that on your path. It shows that to you as true. And it lines you up with it out there. So that is all you're available to see then. Everyone is you pushed out means that you are the only person in your reality with the ability to think. You're the only person with free will in your reality. Everyone is you pushed out means everyone responds to your story. Everyone is just a messenger for your story about them or things. There's infinite versions of people. You're picking the one that you want based on your story. So just focus on what you want and speak it internally. Every person has the same awareness. We are all individualized of God. All one, but you appear as your human self. Like I'm Katie, but we're all awareness. Everyone's own individual world is their story pushed out. Your story inside becomes true outside. The story you have will show up or it will happen. Anyone you are aware of is conforming to your story. Otherwise, they could not be in your world. All comes from your thoughts. If I myself say a new story, I will also play out the story myself. Sometimes without even realizing it. I will be moved and led and given ideas and thoughts and intuition to go to certain places or do certain actions that proves that story to be true. See my video called Instant Manifestation, Step-by-Step Success Story. I didn't even realize I was being led based off of my story of the shirt that I had wanted. It all feels normal and natural while you're in it and while it is taking place. Start to test this. Say what you want and see how it shows up. My new story was, I want a girlfriend to come to me and find me exactly where I am. And that happened. If you want that story, my video on that is called Manifest a Girlfriend or Boyfriend to Your Front Door. It worked. Step-by-step detailed analysis. So the short version is I said that story and thought positive about it. I removed all the negative thoughts and feelings about it. So from neutral and good, I became aligned, where it then easily happened and it came to me. So it isn't you are making people do things, you are selecting the version of them that is already doing that or like that. It collapses on that version. Since all things and versions exist now, you're choosing one and that version that you want. So keep on that story that you want and it happens. If anything that is not what you want shows up, that you don't like, you cannot react and ignore it, or recreate it by saying a new story about it in that moment. Make a list to start small. Try for parking spots, compliments. The more times you see it, the more believable it is. Don't worry what others are thinking, because they are only thinking what you think they are thinking based off your story. So make your story that they want me. They love me. Everyone's a hologram, and a hologram is a three-dimensional image. The world is more dreamlike than maybe you've seen before. As you raise in consciousness by having more awareness and knowledge of how the world really works or is, then you can see this more clearly. Everyone is out there waiting for your command. When you start to consciously make a story and see it happen, you see it's true. I made a story of that a guy at work and how I said I wanted him to bring me free breakfast. And he has now for like months in a row. Forcing or directly telling people to do things may have it happen for a short time, but it's just a struggle and it won't really last. So it all starts from your thoughts. First, change your story. Our 3D world outside of us is a direct reflection of the story and thoughts in your mind. Say your story as if you're in the end and living in it. Well, what does that mean? It means use wording of your story like it'll happen or it has happened. Like manifesting is easy. That makes it sound true right now. Or manifesting a relationship was easy. That is your story now, even before you see it happen. Quantum physics says there is every single possibility out there for you. The one your consciousness collapses on is the one based off your story and thoughts and what you are focused on. So if you say a person doesn't want to be with you, consciousness collapses on that story. So you will see evidence of that. If you then shift your story to they want to be with me, then it collapses on that. And it shows evidence that they do want to be with you. So you have to be consistent and disciplined in your desired story. Keep saying your new story and it will happen. Whatever your story is, you look for that or you just see that out there. Everything else is deleted. That is also why if you have a story that there are no good matches for me out there, or no one good to date, or no one wants what I do, that is what your story is. And that is all you're available to see and perceive. If you make a new story that there are tons of options, tons of matches for me, people want what I do, then they show up and appear and become visible. If you say, I don't know how to make more money or how to have money, this makes all the ways to do so invisible to you. If your story is, making money is easy, I can manifest money, then ways to do so appear to you. You get ideas and shown ways, and it becomes visible to you. Or opportunities present themselves. What was invisible before becomes visible. That is why your story is the most important thing ever. With people, we build a story with them. It crystallizes. It becomes a belief. But a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. So the core is your thoughts. Have you ever had a relationship and everything is great? Then you start to have insecurities. You start worrying that the person doesn't want to be with you. It takes lots of these thoughts and worries, then eventually the person leaves. If you think someone doesn't want to be with you, you have to break down that whole story and shift it. So if it was a long-term relationship or there's a lot of history, it takes more to get results, since all this built-up story you've made over time. So it takes persistence, and more than saying the story just once. You have to keep saying your desired story continuously until it happens. You would change your story from "they don't want to be with me" to "they want to be with me." Then as time goes on, if it does start to show, it is very important then to remember that the meanings you give things affect this as well. So make everything that happens or shows up to mean something positive towards your desire. Well, what does that mean? It means, for example, if they suddenly texted you and said, "Hi, I miss you," but then they said, "Nope, I can't hang out," you make everything that happens mean a positive story towards your desire. So you'd say in your head, "Okay, that's okay. They miss me, and we can hang out another day soon." Then you can say, "I want to hang out with them this weekend." So if you made that to mean something negative, your story now, negative, leads to not getting what you want. So that would probably go like, "They can't hang out with me? That means they don't like me or want to see me." See, this is also a story. A story, not of what you want. So every little thing like this matters. But it gets easier the more that you see it and practice. Usually when you change a story to something positive, it stops coming up. It's just harder at first when you are new at this and not used to noticing your thoughts. If you don't like what you see, also learn to ignore what is right in front of you and not react to it. Then remain consistent in the story of what you do want, and it will happen. Always have a good reaction and make it to mean it is towards your desires. If you react positive to all things and find positive meaning, you stay in a good state, which is the same feeling state of the wish fulfilled. It keeps you on the right path. If you freaked out and reacted, you're no longer in the state of the wish fulfilled. You have to first feel the state and story within to have it happen out there in your 3D. If you are saying, "I want that desire out there, I don't have it, and want that thing out there," you aren't having a story inside you first that says what you want and knowing it'll happen. You must have the inner story first. So say a new story and it gets accepted by awareness, and awareness is all the work behind the scenes that makes it come about. They will think it's their idea. How they show up is a direct reflection of your story of them. Sometimes we don't even notice the story that we have. I used to say my sister is always late and when we would get together. But now she isn't because I changed the story. Your story determines your interpretation of things, which determines your responses. For example, if you think people are mean and that is your story, if a person slams a door, you interpret that as anger. But if your inner story is, people are nice and friendly, a slammed door may be interpreted as, "Oh, they accidentally closed it too hard." So see, your story makes you interpret stuff as your story says it is. So that is why you want a good story. Then you react good also, and you get better results. So a question may be, are people reflecting back your personality traits? If he's a liar, does that mean I'm a liar? No, it is only reflecting back your story. If the person's a liar, it is just your story of them. It doesn't mean that you are a liar. And a question could be, if I want a specific person and we haven't talked in a long time, then what if I want them? So a story could be that they realize that they love you and it just came to them and they realized it. You have to also realize that circumstances don't matter. Watch my video called How I Manifested an Ex Back. I said I wanted a person to be single, and that happened. And the weird part was how they didn't even have my phone number, and it had been like 5 years, and my number came to them in a dream, and then they reached out to me, So that just can build your belief that, circumstances don't matter and anything really can happen. And if you want a specific person back, think of the new version. You would say your story would be, my specific person is changeable and malleable. I choose this version. They think what I think they think. What I think my specific person will say they say. I see proof of my story. To my specific person, I can do nothing wrong. So you'd have a story like that and add to it. My specific person feels for me as I do them. When talking to people, don't make things a big deal. If someone says no, say they just don't have enough information yet. They're going to change their mind. Here's why, and then make up a good story of it. Make up a positive story then of why. Don't react or give things meaning. Know that it can change. Be non-reactive. Nothing is a big deal because you can change everything. You are in control. How they interact with you, because it's your story, your bubble, your world, your creation. So you are in control of how they interact with you. Keep on manifesting different things so you aren't waiting and watching that one specific desire. Let it be. Say your new story, focus on the new story, then think of other stuff to manifest. If the thought of that main desire comes up, say the story you want of it, or a quick turnaround story like manifesting's easy, or I always get what I want, or manifesting a specific person's easy. It can be one statement if you're just in the moment, and then go do something else, but always leave it on the positive story each time. So a question may be, what if two people want the same person? So, since you are the only person with free will and the ability to think in your reality, then your story will always win. You can have a story that the other person wants someone else, or that the main person decides that they only want you. Any story you say in your reality, the person will think it's their idea. See my how to have a person stop smoking story for an example of that. I wanted a girlfriend to stop smoking, so I said the story in my head, and they thought it was their idea. Whoever wins is based on your story and who you think will win. Make your new story. Watch my video on what a new story is, or statements of a new story. It was in the Focus or Let Go video part 2. You must be satisfied now, in this moment, with your inner story now, before being satisfied out there. It is about being it now, feeling it now, knowing it now, experiencing it now, which simply means saying your new story to yourself, which then leads you into it naturally and draws it to you naturally without any effort on your part. If you want help with your story and seeing what thoughts you have that are preventing your desire, I offer email coaching, so email me to request for that. But at the end of the day, is the hugest thing is your story. Making a story and sticking with it. That's the number one core thing to all this, to everything with manifesting. So, if you watched this far, you must have liked it, so hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.